Alright, YouTube, it's time to discuss another issue today, and it's definitely a different issue than I've discussed on this channel before, but after hearing things and reading some things about the whole Dan Schneider controversy, I decided, you know what? I'll make a video on this, because this actually, there's some things that I actually did want to discuss with regards to this, but, so for those of you who don't know, Dan Schneider, obviously, is the creator of many Nickelodeon shows back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Definitely has created some of our favorites, and definitely has created some of my favorites. You know, Drake and Josh, The Amanda Show, iCarly, and a few other shows as well. And these shows, especially Drake and Josh, in my opinion, was an absolute masterpiece. And he's been doing this for a while, and Dan Schneider has worked for Nickelodeon for quite some time, until he parted his ways with Nickelodeon back in 2018. And Nickelodeon decided that they just were not going to renew their contract with them, and there were allegations that he was acting inappropriately on the set. That he had that he basically has a foot fetish, and he basically put that all in his work. Obviously, many iCarly scenes had, Carly and Sam, showing their feet in, weird ways and whatnot. And I think, basically, a lot of Dan Schneider's works were basically hinting at that type of thing. And he was just basically just a fucking weirdo. He was putting a lot of stuff in his works that was fucking creepy, and it was weird, and it's so obvious that this is what Dan Schneider is all about. And what are my thoughts on Dan Schneider having a foot fetish? I think it's gross, obviously, but I don't give a fucking rat's ass. But it's pretty ridiculous. It's pretty ridiculous how he responded to this. He basically responded to these allegations with fucking gibberish, as you would expect. Excuse me. There were basically reports of Schneider allegedly being having temper issues, and there were tweets showing photos of young actresses' feet and all that, and basically just being a fucking pervert and a creep, obviously. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Dan Schneider has never been criminally charged, and I don't know if there's any sexual things, but obviously the foot fetish thing being fucking sexual, obviously. But it's just number one, I don't give a fucking rat's ass what Dan Schneider is into, okay? He's married, actually. He's married to a woman by the name of, I think it's pronounced Lisa Lillian. I think that's how you pronounce her name. They were married. They got married in 2002. They met in the 90s or whatever. Okay, if that's his thing, if that's their thing, fucking go for it. Whatever you do in the privacy of your own home, fucking do it. I don't give a shit. Okay, but don't put that shit into your work and make it so fucking blatantly obvious. And then when people call you out for it and ask you a question, you sit there and be like, I never did that. Oh no, I never did that. It was just totally innocent comedy. That's Dan Schneider's response. Hey, Dan Schneider, do you have a foot fetish? Hey, Dan Schneider, are you into young actresses? Okay, it's so fucking obvious that this is what this guy is into. And by the way, Jeanette McCurdy quit acting not long after these incidences have occurred. Jeanette McCurdy basically has given up acting. Well, maybe not for this reason, but for a few other reasons and whatnot. It's just, and a bunch of people have spoken out against this. On Zoe 101, there were reports over abuse and verbal abuse and whatnot, and bullying and whatnot. And Dan Schneider didn't do a fucking goddamn thing about it. So it's so obvious that this guy has literally has temper tantrums, and he's just not a very good guy. He's a fucking creep. He's a weirdo, and he has temper flarings all the time. That's basically what was reported here, and like I said, he responds to this stuff with absolute fucking gibberish. which is not surprising, but it's just like how fucking Bill Cosby responded. Okay, Dan Schneider is basically Bill Cosby in a fucking fat man suit. Okay, but it's just basic. Well, I mean, minus the drugging and fucking and the Jello pudding pops, but that's a whole nother story. But it looks like Dan Schneider eats Jello pudding pops every other day, but that's a whole nother can of worms altogether. So Dan Schneider basically, he addresses the Nickelodeon exit, denies inappropriate behavior in the new interview. This will be linked in the description. Says he was questioned point blank about online video complications and TV show screenshots people have used as evidence to question the appropriateness of his behavior with child actors, particularly when it comes to showing their feet. Ridiculous, he told The Times, explaining that kids simply find feet funny and that it was not intended to sexualize the young actors. Yeah, bullshit. A review of Schneider by Nickelodeon's partner/parent company, Viacom CBS, confirmed that there was never any sexual misconduct. Okay, well, that's great to know. Quote, the comedy was totally innocent, Schneider told The Times. However, The Times noted that Viacom CBS's investigation did find a pattern of verbal abuse. Schneider declined to comment on the investigation, but said that if he was seen as difficult, it's because he holds high standards. I've held high standards. So you're basically sitting there moralizing yourself because you're such a fucking hypocrite. Again, you're just like Bill Cosby with the fucking moralizing. Do clean material, don't curse, don't do this, don't do that. I'm Dan Schneider, I hold high standards, I do this, I do that. See, it's the classic where you know deep down you're doing all this moralizing when deep down internally you are quite immoral. It's like no different than it's no different than the fucking shit that Bill Cosby was doing to fucking moralize all this nonsense. It's ridiculous. And then he goes on to say, I never interacted with actors in any way, texting or otherwise, that should make anyone uncomfortable. Over the years, I've grown and matured as a producer and a leader. Yeah, you're some fucking leader, dude. Come on. It's just absolutely ridiculous. You're gonna sit there and be like, oh yeah, I did this, I did this, I did that. It's gibberish. It's fucking gibberish. The comedy was totally innocent. Yeah, you are basically putting this into your work. You are basically putting people showing one foot after the other in many iCarly scenes, Drake and Josh scenes, even on Victorious, even on some of your newer shows. I don't know about Sam and Cat, but I do know in Victorious and iCarly, you are doing this a lot. And Jeanette McCurdy basically made a parody video way back in the day, saying oh, Dan Schneider, look at what you did to me. So it's obvious that people are coming around and saying that this guy is a fucking psychotic pervert and a creep. Now, how does this make me feel about other shows like Drake and Josh and all these other shows? It doesn't taint my opinion of the shows because the shows were great and I loved them and I would go back and watch them all the time. I still do to this day in some days depending on my moods and what I feel like watching at that moment. But it just goes to show that it's not really even Dan Schneider, yeah, he wrote some of the episodes, but he had more writers than not. So basically there were other people writing for the show, generally speaking, but that's besides the point. It's just, Dan Schneider he's fucking responding with gibberish. You're not convincing anyone. You're not convincing anyone otherwise. You're not convincing anyone when you say, oh, the comedy's totally innocent. It's just you're trying to cover up for something that is so totally obvious. You are so in over your head. You are not convincing. You are not convincing anyone, Mr. Schneider. You are not convincing anybody with this. When you just respond with literal fucking gibberish, and when you say things like, I hold myself to a high degree of standards, you're moralizing to cover up for your own immorality and your own insecurities. Because you know what you did. You know what you're doing. It's just the guy's a fucking creep. He's a weirdo. And maybe I think Nickelodeon finally had the fucking backbone to say, you know what? We're done with this guy. So it's obvious that Dan Schneider's reputation has tanked. And if I'll be honest, I'll reveal some things. I've heard way back in the day, even before these allegations occurred, I've heard that Dan Schneider was a creep as far back as like 2012, 2013, I've heard that. And I would think to myself, I didn't know really what to think of it at the time. But now this coming out, I've heard it back in 2015. I've heard it throughout the years from some people. I didn't know if it was true or not, but I was just like, whatever. I don't know. I was kind of just like, I kind of just shrugged it off and kind of moved on with whatever I was doing. But yeah, no, like, I'm not surprised, really. And it's not surprising because this is how people respond to allegations like this. They respond with absolute fucking bullshit gibberish. He is responding, classic Dan Schneider ways of responding, complete bullshit, complete gibberish. And this is exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is, okay? Okay, be a fucking weirdo and a creep and a pervert and deal with your foot fetishes and all that stuff. Do whatever you want to do on your own time, okay? But when you're in the workplace and you're making shows for everybody to see, don't bring other people down to your stupidity level. Nobody wants that around them. This is exactly why Nickelodeon got rid of your dumbass, but it's not going to affect Dan Schneider because Dan Schneider probably has all the fucking money in the world. He has all the fucking money in the world to do whatever the fuck he wants, even if he never worked again. I mean, the guy is 55 years old. He has enough money to probably last himself the rest of his fucking life, him and his wife between them. It doesn't really affect anyone. It doesn't really affect, well, him, but it's ridiculous. It's bullshit. Then he announced he had written and sold a new pilot to a different network. Okay, good. Go do that. But in reality town, regardless of what you do, you're not convincing anyone. If you want to change your behavior, why don't you come out and apologize? I apologize if this made anyone offended, but it's completely innocent. I did this. Why not just say, yeah, I know that wasn't probably the best thing to do. I'm sorry. I apologize for doing that. I'm sorry if I made any of my viewers uncomfortable. What can I do to improve myself what can I do to appeal to my fans? What would my fans like to see in a future project of mine? Not, oh, the comedy was totally innocent, blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, the comedy's totally innocent, blah, 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 blah. Even though I'm including my fucking, my actual paraphilias into the fucking work that is aimed for fucking children and shit like that. So it's like, dude, you're not convincing anyone. Your response is bullshit. Instead of just coming out there saying, yeah, I did this, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend anyone. I realize that, yeah, I shouldn't have done this. I realize I shouldn't have done this. What can I do? How do I improve myself? How do I do this? How do I do that? That's how you respond. That's how you respond to wrongdoings like this, to reports like this. Not, oh, this is innocent, this isn't. It's like, no, it's not innocent. It's weird, it's creepy, and it's kind of embarrassing. It's just like, dude, you're not fooling anyone. You're not fooling me, and you're not fooling the young generation. You're not fooling people, because they all know what you're doing. They know. They know what you did. They know this is what your intent was. And you're just a fucking weirdo. Good. Go sell your pilot to a new network. Good. Go deal with them. Go. Like, get in. Like, shoo. Goodbye. Here's a cheeseburger. See ya. Like, get the fuck out of our sight. Like, good riddance. Anyway, I just want to get on here and kind of talk about this. This is a topic I want to discuss for a while, but I haven't really gotten around to it. But yeah, no, Dan Schneider is a psychotic pervert and a creep, and it's basically been confirmed, and not just by these articles, but multiple people. It's like, let's just cut to the chase. Dan Schneider, guilty. All these people coming out saying this stuff about him, they got nothing to gain from it. It's so obvious that Dan Schneider's guilty. Yeah, I'll release a bunch of reports, motherfucker. I'll release a bunch of the reports. And it's nice to see that you got your fucking ass canned, and it's good. It's good to see. It's good to see. So good. You can go sell your pilot off to another network until something else happens. Because who knows what else will come from this? Maybe something else will come from it, maybe not. But for now, who knows? All I gotta say is Dan Schneider, like, Thanks, but no thanks. Thanks for the works. Thanks for the great shows that you gave us, like Drake and Josh, especially, and the Amanda Show, and all the great shows of my childhood and many others' childhoods. But after seeing this and everything else, kindly fuck off. Skedaddle. Get. Goodbye. That's what I have to say to Dan Schneider. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you all for listening. Comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. I'll link these in the description and that video about Jeanette McCurdy that I also referenced in this video too. Anyway, I'll be back with more videos and a whole bunch of other stuff in the works. Stay tuned to find out more and more videos on the way. This is Zach, the Celtics guy, saying thank you for watching. I'll probably do another live stream soon. I have a few other topics to discuss in the works. I'll be back with that. I'll start doing some more streaming and other stuff. I'll see you all again soon, and I'll see you all again in the next video. Bye for now, peace out, and have a good day.